My wife always had a passion for the sea. She worked as a lifeguard on a beach. I tried not to be jealous while I worked my office job. I believe she was a good woman. Black small square. Our relationship was her first serious relationship that resulted in marriage. She told me she knew we were made for each other. What she failed to realize was that she was not nearly mature enough to be so committed to this idea of forever. She was longing for adventure without me beyond her normal workday. She didn't come home when I expected one day. Black small square. I called her once at 30 minutes late and again, at 1 hour and 15 minutes late. I knew she was a grown responsible woman and I didn't want to be the harping father type of husband. When she did get home, she was acting very strange. It was in a way that seemed like she thought she was acting normal but didn't realize I knew her better than she even did. She didn't see her own behavior in the mirror every day. And for that reason, I knew something happened today that didn't normally happen. Black small square. I tried asking her, what was wrong or what happened today that delayed her. She acted like nothing different happened. But since she was late, she eventually said she stopped at the market to walk around during the sunset. Black small square. I bought it for the night and we went to bed. Nothing happened then either, which was disappointing. Black small square. In the morning, I woke up to her kneeling beside my side of the bed, sobbing into the sheets. The first thing she said was that she didn't mean to do it. She said she just wanted to do something fun and spontaneous and it wasn't supposed to escalate the way it did. My heart started racing and I felt like I'd been awake for hours. I asked her what she was talking about. She swallowed hard, started pulling her hair and said, she just started chatting with a man after he docked his boat. She was just walking, enjoying the sunset and asked him about his boat. Their conversation continued until he invited her on the boat. It sounded fun and he just seemed like a friendly person. She started sobbing again and said she messed up. I asked if she cheated on me and she could only nod. I jumped up and started packing my stuff. She kept crying and found it hard to believe that I refused to give her a second chance since she was being honest and telling me the truth. I told her she was being honest about the fact that she didn't deserve me. And she was a sleazy girl for sleeping with some guy when she could have said no. Black small square. I told her I wouldn't be the man to forgive her for wasting years of my life and convincing me to believe she had self-control and dedication to me. That was all I said, even though she was trying to get me to say more for another 30 minutes while I got all my essentials. I knew if I said anything else, it would only hurt me more. I went to my brother's house and filed for divorce. She started showing up once she figured out where I was staying and did anything she could to get me to take her back. I wouldn't answer the door. Thankfully, my brother helped by dismissing her. I could have done it, but it's good to have supporters that help you do the harder thing because it's the right thing to do for your future. I only told her one more thing one day when she tried contacting me. I told her she never should have gotten on the boat and I refused to be made a fool for taking her back or thinking she wouldn't do this ever again. Black small square. If I was the one to spend time with another woman alone, people would have easily said I was cheating on her. She left me alone but couldn't stay in the house. So she moved in with someone else somehow. Everyone she worked and socialized with found out she cheated on me. So gossip spread and everyone labeled her as someone to avoid. Her roommate was nearly cut off from society just for having her life there. So she kicked her out. Black small square. I think she moved out of town or something. Because why would anyone stay in a town where everyone knows you're a piece of crap? Black small square. Since she left, my life's been going swimmingly. I started dating a woman that works at the library. And even though it's hard to live alone after years of having someone with me, I coped now. My girlfriend sleeps over sometimes and I look forward to that. We're adaptable to change, but there's never a reason to accept an unfaithful spouse. Black small square. Your wife should have known better than to get in a stranger's boat. Maybe she got on his boat knowing she was going to sleep with him. So she felt like she wouldn't be misleading him or getting into a dangerous situation. Black small square. It's always a better idea to leave a cheating spouse than to forgive them because you just don't know the real reasoning behind why it happened. No matter what the reason is, they didn't have enough respect or discipline to maintain an honest and viable relationship. Everyone deserves to have someone genuinely love them without failing to take their dedication seriously. I am glad you followed through with leaving her and told her what she needed to hear. You're an example on how to handle such a situation. Surround yourself with people you trust and only maintain the attitude that you will make it through this unexpected life change. Thank you for sharing your story. Now, let's get into our second story for today. My girlfriend and I had just moved in together for a year. I thought everything was great. We each went to our respective jobs and spent time together at home when we were off. She got home 4 hours before I did and usually got changed, made dinner, did some cleaning and stuff around the house and whatever leisure activity suited her mood. When I got back, she would update me on her day and vice versa. These things didn't happen when I got home. One night, black small square, I noticed she was still wearing her work clothes, only just starting on dinner, and looked worried that I was back already. I asked her what was going on and she played dumb. I asked her if she just got home because it was obvious. She said yes, reluctantly, and seemed to be trying in vain to come up with a reason why she'd be back so late. I pressured her and she didn't like that. She snapped and said she didn't think it was fair for me to be questioning her like this. Then she threw out that she stopped at the store after work and I did notice one grocery bag that she still hadn't unpacked. I looked inside and it had a room temperature bag of shrimp in it. I asked if she planned on cooking them since whatever she was keeping from me gave it enough time to thaw out. I continued pressuring her to tell me where she was after the store, but she refused and eventually settled for sleeping on the couch. So I would leave her alone. I brainstormed but I couldn't think of what to do. Black small square, I looked at her phone but it was clean as a whistle, which made me second-guess myself. I was wrong for doing that because it was obvious something was different. Black small square. The next morning after she already left, one of our neighbors came to me with something that would change the course of our lives. She said she had something upsetting to show me, but I needed to know. She showed me her ring. Cameras recorded motions. It was my girlfriend in each clip entering a neighbor's door adjacent to this lady's own front door. She looked happy in each clip, but the first one explained everything. She said she locked herself out of our apartment. But that was a lie. Black small square. AP invited her inside and she didn't come out until 45 minutes later, leaving with a huge smile holding her keys. The next clips were similar, but each time took less introduction and eventually none. Black small square. I thanked this woman for showing me the evidence. I thanked her as genuinely as I could. She sent the clips to me. Funny that my girlfriend arrived home and parked the car right on time that day. She wasn't too happy to see me standing by the stairs, but it was nothing compared to how she was about to feel. I showed it to her and she started stammering. She looked at me, back to the phone, back to me. She slowly suggested that he needed help, moving some stuff around, and accepted her help cleaning. Black small square, I laughed and suggested we go ask him. Black small square, I grabbed her by the hand and we walked up the stairs. But at the top she started to pull away. I told her if she was seeing a man every day alone in his apartment, I should know him as well as she does. I knocked on his door and as soon as he saw us, he slammed it shut. I let go of my girlfriend's hand like it was a snake. I called her a cheater and walked to my apartment to shut her out, locking the top lock as well. She screamed no. And all the words guilty women say. She kept knocking on my door for a while. I eventually opened it. Just the crack that the chain would allow, and slipped her phone. I needed her to get off my doorsteps. Sometime that night. At one point I noticed she went to AP's house to knock on the door, but their exchange was quite short. Turns out he had a girlfriend. She was eventually picked up and some older man I never saw helped her load her stuff into his van. Black small square, I found out later that it was a friend of her father's who was looking to rent out his unfinished basement. It did not sound ideal, but my wife had no choice and no friends to take her in on such short notice. And under these shameful circumstances, when they asked why and wanted to know what was going on, she tried to lie, but that only made the situation seem less severe. They gave her some advice, but mostly encouraged her to work things out with me. She eventually settled into the crappy bed she made for herself. One day when I got home from work, I bumped into a PS girlfriend on the way into his apartment. I asked her if that was her boyfriend's door and she said, yes, curiously. I said there was something she needed to know and it grabbed her attention. She watched the videos of my girlfriend entering and she was shocked. Black small square, she banged on the door and pushed him inside when he opened it, screaming at him and slamming the door behind her. So at least she knew the truth. I know these things happen and I'm trying to keep my head up in good faith that I handled this the right way and hopefully won't be hurt again. Black small square, your girlfriend proved her worthlessness as a lifelong partner by entering another man's apartment before you got home. She completely betrayed you and didn't deserve to have a safe place to live with any man. Black small square, I am so proud of you for taking each step you did, including asking her about being late coming home. Even though you got home after her, after you had the proof, it's good. You went down to her car to greet her and confront her infidelity. Once AP slammed the door, you didn't waste time talking to her because she only was trying to convince you to forgive her. There was no need to let her back in the apartment until the neutral party arrived to help remove her belongings. You certainly handled this well and even told AP's girlfriend the truth. I respect you and wish you all the best going forward. Thank you all for taking the time to listen to today's stories. If you enjoyed listening, please feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also comment below with your thoughts on what happened. Take care. Black small square, black small square, black small square, black small square.